The CEO replaced a single dad with 30 engineers, then one mistake cost them everything. The day Owen Mercer was fired, the sun was shining so brightly that it felt almost cruel. The glass walls of the headquarters reflected the morning light across the parking lot, making everything look polished, successful, and untouchable. Inside, however, one decision was about to change dozens of lives forever. Owen stood quietly in a conference room on the 23rd floor, holding a worn notebook that contained years of ideas, sketches, fixes, and solutions. Across from him sat executives who wouldn't even look him in the eye. At the head of the table sat Victor Holden, the celebrated CEO whose face appeared in business magazines every month. Victor believed he was making a bold move. A revolutionary move. A move that would prove he was smarter than everyone else. And it would become the biggest mistake of his career. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and never giving up on good people, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories to people who need them most. Owen had never been the loudest employee. He wasn't the youngest. He wasn't the most educated. He didn't have prestigious degrees hanging on his office wall. What he had was something far more valuable. Experience. For 12 years he had worked inside Syntech Systems, helping build software used by hospitals around the world. While executives chased headlines and engineers debated theories, Owen quietly solved problems. He understood how everything connected. He knew every hidden weakness. Every shortcut. Every risk. His co-workers often joked that Owen knew the company's systems better than the people who created them. But while Owen's value was obvious to those around him, Victor saw things differently. Victor loved numbers. He loved charts. He loved presentations filled with impressive titles. When consultants arrived with a proposal claiming that a team of 30 elite engineers could modernize Synteca's infrastructure faster than ever before, Victor became obsessed. The consultants painted a beautiful picture. Artificial intelligence. Automation. Elite talent. Aggressive timelines. Huge profits. According to their presentation, one experienced employee could easily be replaced by a larger team equipped with the latest technology. And unfortunately for Owen, he was that employee. The decision came quickly. One signature. One meeting. One termination package. 12 years erased in less than 15 minutes. As Owen walked out of headquarters carrying a small cardboard box, nobody noticed the tears he fought to hide. He wasn't crying for himself. He was thinking about his daughter. 9-year-old Harper. The brightest part of his life. Her mother had passed away 4 years earlier after a long illness, leaving Owen to raise her alone. Every school lunch. Every homework assignment. Every doctor's appointment. Every bedtime story. He handled it all himself. Now, suddenly unemployed, he had no idea how he would keep their small house. That evening, Harper found him sitting on the porch. The sunset painted the sky orange while neighborhood children played nearby. Owen tried to smile. Harper tried to be brave. Neither succeeded. Yet somehow, children always understand more than adults realize. Harper sat beside him and placed her small hand over his. She didn't ask complicated questions. She simply stayed there. And in that quiet moment, Owen found enough strength to stand again. The following weeks were difficult. Very difficult. Applications disappeared into silence. Interviews led nowhere. Savings slowly shrank. Bills continued arriving. Every morning Owen woke before sunrise, searching for opportunities while Harper prepared for school. Despite everything, he refused to complain. He volunteered at local community workshops. Helped small businesses repair computer systems. Fixed old equipment for neighbors. People noticed. Word spread. Meanwhile, inside Syntech Systems, Victor celebrated. The new engineering division had arrived. 30 highly qualified specialists from prestigious universities. The office buzzed with excitement. Media outlets praised the company's modernization initiative. Investors applauded the strategy. Stock prices climbed. Victor felt unstoppable. For a few months, everything seemed perfect. Then tiny cracks began appearing. The new team possessed extraordinary technical knowledge. But they lacked something Owen had spent years building. Institutional memory. They knew how systems should work. They didn't know how Syntech's systems actually worked. Critical details existed nowhere except inside Owen's notebooks and memory. Small warnings went unnoticed. Minor irregularities were dismissed. Engineers created improvements without understanding hidden dependencies. Management pushed faster. Deadlines became tighter. Pressure increased. And beneath the surface, danger quietly grew. One bright Tuesday morning in early spring, everything collapsed. A routine update triggered a chain reaction nobody anticipated. Patient scheduling systems began failing. Hospital databases stopped synchronizing. Medical records became inaccessible. Emergency backups malfunctioned. Within hours, hospitals across multiple states reported severe disruptions. Phones exploded with complaints. Clients demanded answers. Investors panicked. News outlets began investigating. Victor stared at monitoring screens as millions of dollars vanished by the hour. Meeting after meeting produced no solution. 30 engineers worked around the clock. Nothing helped. The deeper they dug, the worse the situation became. What they eventually discovered made everyone's stomach drop. Years earlier, Owen had designed a protective workaround preventing a hidden flaw from damaging the entire network. It wasn't elegant. It wasn't glamorous. But it worked. When modernization efforts removed that safeguard, the system became vulnerable. Nobody recognized its importance. Nobody documented it. Nobody except Owen. For the first time since becoming CEO, Victor felt genuine fear. The company faced catastrophic losses. Clients threatened lawsuits. Investors discussed replacing leadership. Employees feared mass layoffs. The empire Victor built was beginning to crumble. Late that night, exhausted executives gathered inside the Emergency Operations Center. One uncomfortable truth dominated every conversation. They needed Owen. The man they had dismissed. The man they believed was replaceable. The man who understood the system better than anyone alive. Finding him proved surprisingly easy. Owen wasn't hiding. He was spending his evenings teaching free technology classes at a community center. When Victor arrived there the following afternoon, he expected anger. Resentment. Bitterness. Instead, he found Owen helping teenagers repair donated computers. The room felt warm. Hopeful. Purposeful. For a moment Victor noticed something strange. Despite losing his job, Owen seemed more respected there than Victor felt inside his own company. Victor explained the crisis. Every painful detail. Every failure. Every consequence. The proud CEO who once believed he knew everything now looked like a man carrying the weight of the world. Owen listened quietly. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He didn't seek revenge. Because good people rarely enjoy watching others suffer. Especially when innocent employees and customers are caught in the middle. After a long silence, Owen agreed to help. Not for Victor. Not for the executives. But for the hospitals depending on the technology. And for the families who needed those services functioning again. The next morning, Owen returned to Syntech. Employees stopped working as he entered. Some looked embarrassed. Others looked relieved. Many simply looked hopeful. The atmosphere felt completely different from the day he left. There were no celebrations. No arrogance. Only urgency. For 36 straight hours, Owen worked beside engineers, analyzing logs, tracing failures, and rebuilding damaged infrastructure. Instead of criticizing anyone, he taught them. Instead of blaming them, he guided them. Instead of proving how much smarter he was, he focused entirely on solving the problem. That attitude changed everything. Gradually, systems recovered. Databases synchronized. Hospitals regained access. Clients regained confidence. The disaster began retreating. By the end of the week, operations stabilized. Syntech survived. Barely. The financial damage was enormous. But the reputational damage taught an even greater lesson. During a company-wide meeting several days later, hundreds of employees gathered in the main auditorium. Victor stood on stage. For the first time in years, there was no polished confidence in his voice. No corporate performance. Only honesty. He admitted his mistake. He admitted his arrogance. He admitted that experience cannot always be measured on spreadsheets. Then he did something nobody expected. He invited Owen onto the stage. The room erupted into applause. Not polite applause. Not forced applause. The kind that comes from genuine respect. Many employees stood. Some wiped away tears. Others smiled proudly. Victor announced that Owen would lead a new knowledge preservation initiative designed to ensure critical expertise was never ignored again. But the most important moment wasn't the promotion. It wasn't the applause. It wasn't the recognition. It was what happened afterward. As employees exited the auditorium, dozens approached Owen. Young engineers thanked him. Managers apologized. Co-workers expressed admiration. And Owen treated every person with the same kindness he had always shown. Because character isn't revealed when life is easy. Character is revealed when you finally have power over those who once doubted you. Months later, Syntech became stronger than ever. Not because of technology. Not because of consultants. Not because of ambitious executives. Because the company finally learned to value people. Especially the quiet ones. Especially the experienced ones. Especially those whose contributions rarely appear in headlines. One sunny afternoon, Owen attended Harper's school ceremony. As he watched his daughter smile from the stage, he realized something important. Losing his job had been painful. Humiliating. Terrifying. But it had also revealed who he truly was. Not an employee. Not a title. Not a position on an organizational chart. He was a father. A teacher. A problem solver. A man whose worth could never be measured by a termination letter. And sometimes, the people the world overlooks are the very people holding everything together. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your engagement helps these stories reach people who may need hope today. Special request, comment below with the words, "Kindness wins," if you believe good character always matters more than status or power. As the afternoon sunlight warmed the school courtyard, Owen looked at Harper and smiled. The future no longer felt uncertain. It felt earned. And in that moment, he understood a truth many people spend their entire lives learning: success isn't proving others wrong. Success is remaining kind when you finally have the chance to prove them wrong. And that is why, long after the crisis was forgotten, people remembered Owen Mercer, not as the man who got fired, but as the man who came back and saved everyone.